teen movies, and I feel Pauly Shore made like those early '90s teen movies like cool and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And you know that because back in the day, like early '90s teen movies were supposed to be cheesy and funny, dude. They were not supposed to be taken seriously. Even when we transitioned into the late '90s with American Pie and Can Hardly Wait and all these other movies and stuff. Like those are different stages, you know. And I feel Pauly Shore is an innovator, and he should be treated as such, you know. For me,
he definitely doesn't get enough credit. And he's treated like a novelty now, like nostalgic, because I've seen him on make cameo appearances on shows, and the one that I seen him in, and they were kind of treating him like kind of weird, was Workaholics, where it was almost like they were breaking the fourth wall and kind of making him feel like, what the fuck is Pauly Shore doing here? But they were all about it, like they were still all about it. Like I think the episode was like, if you have the most sales, you get to hang out and do coke with Pauly Shore or something like that.
Oh my god!
You got to watch that, and also Dane Cook is in it too, because they're buddies in that show.
Yeah, he was on the show Wild and Out.
Yeah,
he was on Wild and Out, and there's a segment towards the end of the episode that he's on where they're basically rap battling and trash talking each other. And it's his turn to go, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. Like,
you guys are my friends."
Yeah, he's like, "You guys are my friends. I don't want to make fun of you." And then he like walks away, and people are like, "Whoa, what the fuck's going on?"
He refuses to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "I don't want to do this." He's like, "You guys are my friends. I don't want to make fun of you." And then he walked away, and people are like, "No, what are you doing? Like, this is a part of the show. Like, it's just for fun." He's like, "No, I don't like this." He's like, "This is uncomfortable."
I get it though. I'd probably do the same thing. So. What up, Pauly? I get you, fool. Don't trip.
Yeah, I feel like he's really misunderstood. Once he lost his fame, he was kind of just thrown to the wayside as like the ugly stepchild that no one really talks about anymore.
Kind of
just thrown away.
He's in a similar situation to Tom Green.
Yeah.
Where Tom Green, the people don't even realize that Tom Green is a comedian and does stand-up, you know what I mean? They just think of him as from the Tom Green show. And Pauly Shore is stuck in the whole, the shadow of this weasel persona, which is awesome, but I'm sure he's like capable of so much more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How crazy is that for him to create a character, and he's that character throughout all of his movies, but none of them are like tied together at all?
Yeah, it's just
it's crazy that
it's like cohesive without trying to be.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's just, I think that's to me that's really crazy, and that shows the type of innovator that he was, and how far ahead, like you guys said, how far ahead he was of the game.
I wanted to be like Pauly Shore growing up as a kid. I kind of am now a little bit, but
because he's a great, like I was saying, I feel like he's his comedy is great, a great gateway into like being a subculturist. Like it's okay to go against the grain. You know what I mean? To do what you want, like wear what you want. Like even in Encino Man, his aesthetic, like his style. I'm sure, walking around like that, you get called gay and all these things, but he didn't care. You know what I mean?
No,
and that's what's cool.
Me and Tiny were actually talking about that. We were like, dang, Stoney's rocking all that pink. Stoney's rocking that fishnet tank top.
Yeah.
But he's still all about the chicks, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was like Prince, dude. He was like Prince back in the day.
He definitely embodied what Southern California was at that time. And that's what's beautiful about it, because we're all from Southern California. And that's why, like, it feels so cool now to see his movies like Son-in-Law, like Biodome and stuff. Another great movie that I love.
Jury Duty.
Pauly Shore's Dad is another one, right?
Yeah. So, like, it's cool to see that, because I feel like he represents every single Southern Californian in
Californians
movies, you know.
Yeah, he actually. I would have to agree with you on that, Diego. He made the actual like the mold for that California like dude. You know?
Yeah, because like even, and it's funny because they use it on every '90s shows, like too much sun, two-wheeler and stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah, the stereotype of a Californian, where it's like, oh, you guys gonna go surfing today or whatever, you know.
and a lot of people forget where that stuff came from.
I started my stand-up at 17.
Right.
And I hit on MTV when I was like 21, 22, 23, around there.
All right, so you've had a couple years in, but not nearly enough, I would guess, to have the material to support the shit that you were doing. Yeah. So that becomes kind of quick stress, right? I mean, it's one thing to have the people show up and want to see, Pauly from MTV, but then...
Well, that's why my punchlines would be a stage dive. Right?
Yeah, right.
Seriously, like that was my thing.
Right.
It was like I was the only comic, like people would come to shows and they wouldn't sit. Everyone was standing, you know what I mean? That type of shit.
Right.
There's no material. There's no material.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was a singer for a while. I did my song Lisa Lisa.
Right.
So yeah, it was all persona. It was all my persona.
But at the time, did you say, how can I keep this thing going? Or just having
fun. Willy Wonka in the Chocolate House. I got the golden ticket.
Well, it was a factory, but still. But so you're at that point. Now, you know what it also reminded me of? Like you were like that guy that the girls all liked. So I imagine there would be a certain amount of boyfriends that weren't so crazy about when Pauly come into town.
No, it was interesting because I'm sure there were, but I got a lot of guys that liked me.
Right.
A lot of guys were, Weasel, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then the girl would be like, shut up, you're retarded. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean? But, no, it was kind of mixed. It was kind of mixed in a way.
So, it's good times, and then you get the call from, I guess, Disney about movies?
They were doing a film called Encino Man, right? And it was already written. But the way that it was written for two guys that find the caveman, but the two guys that it was written for were exactly alike, two nerds. And then made it like, Sean Astin's character was kind of nerdy, and I was like, bro, what I mean? And then we did that, and we made the caveman, we kind of tug and pull on the caveman. So, and then Brendan, great actor, so he brought like a very great realism to the role, which brought my comedy out even more, because if anyone knows anything about comedy, the best person to work with are really good actors. And that's what was great about in Son-in-Law when I worked with Lane Smith, who was the father and son-in-law, such a good actor. Like getting off the truck and going, middle America, and he's just looking at me like he wants to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, it was the best. You know what I mean? Like, your comedy becomes better when you work with really good actors.
Hey guys, what's up? It's the Swan here. So, it seems that we had some technical difficulties over the recording process this week. So about 30 to 35 minutes of the last portion of our show seems to have disappeared. So I thought I'd hop on and redo the Swan Facts. Once again, I apologize for the inconvenience, but I hope you enjoyed what we did get of the show. All the segments are there, and it's just a kind of quick movie review for Encino Man and talking about the legacy of Pauly Shore, which was very fun. We had Atlas on, so shout out to him for doing the show. Hopefully we have him back next week for James's pick, which is going to be Snowpiercer with Chris Evans, I believe. So let's hop into the Swan Facts. This was director Les Mayfield's debut into film, his directorial debut. I think, as I say at the top of the show, he did other things like Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence, Miracle on 34th Street, American Outlaws, which is a Western, and Flubber with the great Robin Williams. This was also a 90s Scream Queen Rose McGowan's film debut. A great deal of Pauly Shore's dialogue was actually ad-libbed throughout the film. He created a large portion of Stoney's character mannerisms. Pauly was actually offered the role of Linkovich Chomovsky, the caveman, first, but passed later and actually helped develop the role of Stoney. Stoney was basically created specifically for Pauly Shore so he could be in the film. In the film, Link and Stoney explore a theme park, and they're seen riding some roller coasters, which is hilarious because in reality, Pauly Shore apparently hates roller coasters and rides. Both Nicolas Cage and Jim Carrey were both considered for the role of Link. And then was in Europe, the film is known as California Man, for obvious reasons that geography kind of simplify it, if you will, right? The costume designer for Encino Man actually made the clothes from scratch for our main character. So Pauly's stuff was all custom, and Brandon Fraser's clothes were actually tailored specifically for him to give him the aesthetic that we have come to know and love, right? And that's my swan facts for the week. Again, I'm super sorry to especially to Diego, who gets somewhat shortchanged this week, but either way, I think we had a very fun time recording, and I hope you guys love what we were able to upload this week. Stay safe, keep washing your hands, and hopefully we can get through this together, right? Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for a full episode with a little mini review and discussion for Snowpiercer. We hope to catch you there. We have brand new content every Friday. We're available. This podcast is actually available on all major podcast platforms as of now, and we appreciate all the support. Thank you guys, and be safe. Until next time. Later.
Kashmir, Rajneesh, is it how many minutes for the burrito again?
2 minutes.
1 minute. 1.5.
2 minutes.
Make up your melons. Is it 1 or 2? 1.5 minutes. Okay. Okay, my friend. Try and experience what I'm about to chirp in your lobes. Okay, cool? Today, buddy, we're gonna discuss grindage. How to fill the furnace, pack the cheeks, and stuff the gills. Okay? You're probably used to eating twigs, right? But out here in the US of A, everybody, we got something called the 4 basic food groups. And Link, this is not one of them. Oh. Look at what we have here. Dairy group. Milk duds. You hide these under your pillow, bro, so your mom doesn't find them. If she does, you're twig, buddy. You keep them cruising. Fruit group. Sweet tarts. Oh. These are killer, buddy. So citrusy, dude, you'll freak. Keep on cruising. Hey, this is the vegetable group. Vegetable group. Oh, corn nuts. Oh, put them on a pedestal, bro. Look at that. Yeah. Those are cute, huh? Meat group. Come on. Take the meat group. These are my favorite. Hey, you gotta be equal. Equal. 50-50, yeah. Yeah. Figures hot on the outside, icicle in the middle.
2 minutes.
But you like that, right? Because you're a caveman.